Bring the good old bugle boys, we'll sing another song. Sing it with a spirit that shall start the cause along. Sing it as we ought to sing it, cheerily and strong, giving the ballad to the mothers. Hurrah, hurrah, we bring the jubilee. Hurrah, hurrah, the homes they shall be free. So we'll sing the chorus from the mountains to the sea, giving the ballad to the mothers. Bring the dear old banner, boys, and fling it to the wind. Mother, wife, and daughter, let it shelter and defend. Equal rights our motto is, we're loyal to the end, giving the ballad to the mothers. Hurrah, hurrah, we bring the jubilee. Hurrah, hurrah, the homes they shall be free. So we'll sing the chorus from the mountains to the sea, giving the ballad to the mothers.
We want to acknowledge that here in San Francisco, we gather as on the traditional land of the Ohlone. We honor with gratitude the land itself and the people who have stewarded it throughout the generations. Acknowledgement by itself is a small gesture. It becomes meaningful when coupled with authentic and sustainable relationships with the indigenous peoples. And remember that colonialism is current and ongoing.
Welcome, everyone. Oh, it's so good to see you all. Does everyone have soup? Can you believe Election Day is finally here? October 10th, 1911, the moment we've been working for. Okay, they're quick instructions, everyone, before we move out to the polls. We have to be on our toes today. No stone unturned, no precinct unattended, no man in the city of San Francisco left behind. We have to get to every single male by the time the polls close and make sure they are voting with us. Out there today, we must remember our points: safe working conditions, equal pay, rights to our property, rights to our
bodies.
Yes, yes, Tuli, that's right, correct. Now, 15 years ago, the women of California fought and lost. In 1896, we made mistakes. We aren't going to make those same mistakes today. Last time we tried to win suffrage for California, it was the blue blood upper class women that ran the game. The Votes for Women Club has galvanized the working women of San Francisco, and you are powerful. And I will thank you from the bottom of my heart, but not until we win this. So you each have your district assignments, eat up and head out.
Hey, Selena, slow down, baby.
Bess Fisk, folks. She's from New York. She calls everybody baby.
No, I don't. Just you. Anyway, some people don't know their district assignments because they never been here before. I mean, you got, by my count, plenty of newcomers, and there's folks here from Marin County who don't know what's going on.
Okay, you're right. Goodness, I'm so sorry. For those of you who are new to us, I'm Selena Solomons, and this is my lunchroom. I hope none of you are here for the Human Flower Show. They are marvelous, as are our suffrage bazaars and our fancy musical numbers. But today is St. Crispian's Day, and you ladies are my band of brothers.
Oh, that's bloody Shakespeare in it. Henry #5, the king.
Right you are, Tuli girl. Go on and say it, Selena.
We few, we happy few, we band of sisters, for she today that sheds her blood with me shall be my sister. And California women now abed will think themselves accursed they were not here, and hold their girlhoods cheap, whiles any speaks that fought with us upon St. Crispian's Day.
Oh, but there are some gentlemen among us here today, Selena. You know, you ought to welcome them too.
You men among us, you advocates of suffrage, you wouldn't be here if you weren't. We need you marching to the polls today to do the right thing. Once more into the breach.
Yes. Well, usually we have a choice of French artichokes with freshly made mayonnaise and her Abba's spice meat on flatbread. 5-cent nutritious lunches are the draw. foot, as we say in the club, Thule.
A girl who comes to eat will stay to lead.
But today we are in the battlefield. So rest here for a few moments in fellowship, but then we must go out and take election day. So eat your soup.
Eat your soup.
Quiz the people, Selena.
There's no time for quizzes today, Bess.
Oh, quiz the people, Thule.
Quiz. When male voters go to the polls today, the only important question on the ballot is, should women be allowed to vote?
Well, give our guests a chance to answer, Thule. I mean, okay, what 5 states have already approved the radical and controversial idea that women are intelligent and sensible enough to share the burden of democracy?
Wyoming, 1869, Utah, 1870, Idaho and Colorado, 1896, and Washington State last year, 1910. Oh, sorry. I did it again, didn't I?
And today, with your help, folks, our state of California will become the 6th state in the union to win the vote for women.
We will sew the 6th star on the flag of suffrage.
That's right, Thule. So make sure you have sweaters and scarves. It's meant to be windy out there today. And did you bring umbrellas? It's not meant to rain, but they can be very useful for protection. We have extras.
Well, tell them about the paper bags.
Bess, why do you keep stalling our progress? We need to get out there.
We printed 10,000 paper bags, which were passed out at the dairies and grocery stores saying, votes for women. Oh, and the billboards, Thule.
Oh, I hope you've seen all this, the billboards posted all over the city on the routes of streetcars, billboards 10 feet tall and Oakland Wharf duck blinds.
That's fantastic. Commuters taking the Southern Pacific won't miss the huge lettering, Justice to California Women.
Give your girl the same chance as your boy.
Thule, I need you out in the field now. If you're in District 5, you'll go with Thule. Thule, check in with the Corps of Ballot Watchers. They've already reported nearly 3,000 fraudulent ballots.
I can spot cheaters from a mile away.
Oh, slow down, kid. You'll trip over your enthusiasm and land on your ass. Talk to the fellas one by one.
She knows what to do out there, Bess. We've been preparing for weeks now.
Well, I worry she'll hurt someone or herself.
She's smart, our Thule. She'll be calm and collected out there, right?
Calm and collected so our dream can come true.
Wow, Selena's promised you this American dream, Thule, but you understand getting the vote ain't gonna make you rich.
I don't want to be rich, Miss Bess. I come to San Francisco streets from Galway gutters. Hunger living inside me like a drunk uncle. Hungry till I got right here to Miss Selena's lunchroom where soup is a nickel and comrades are free. Poverty. Now that's something I expect. It's shite, but believe me, it's a devil witch who I'm intimate. I didn't come all this way for the American dream. Streets laid with diamonds, coins, falling from the sky, starlight over the water. I didn't come for fame. And be sure, Miss Bess, I didn't come for gold. I came for power. To have a voice that can ring out for change. I'm going to get the vote for women today, not so we can be rich, but so we can be strong.
Bless your heart, Thule. Go out there and you do well. And like Bess says, speak clearly and slowly and make your points.
I will make my points.
Elbows out and voice loud.
I'll be a bonny shrieker to defeat the patriarchy.
You will bring about a new age, an age of women.
I'm for women.
Hooray. Now off you go now. I'm right behind you, and you know where to meet me at 5 o'clock?
I meet you on Market Street at the secret place.
No, Selena's going to be holding the fort here at the lunchroom.
What are you talking about, Bess? I'll be leading groups into districts 3 and 4. The lunchroom will be closed today, folks.
No, people need a place to be nourished and revived. It's going to be a long day.
I gave them soup.
I don't want you out there. Hear me, Selena. I mean, the streets are dangerous today for all women, and you are the face of San Francisco suffrage. You are a Jew, and you are also—
I'm fine in the streets, Bess. I have practically lived out there campaigning this last year.
Well, I will not let you risk it. Not even for the cause.
None of your business.
Well, of course it is.
Not.
Miss Selena, are you coming?
Yes.
No,
But then who do I report to at the secret place?
to me. Don't you understand, Thule? It's dangerous for Selena out there. You don't want her to get hurt, do you?
No, of course not. Will I meet you then on the street corner, Miss Bess?
No, you'll meet me. Bess is being silly. Go now, Thule. All assigned to District 5 go with Thule. Good luck out there. See you soon. And off they go. Into the bright new day. We'll all be following soon.
She would move the heavens for you, your faithful foot soldier for suffrage. And I'm not so sure you should promise everybody the magical power of the vote.
You're the one who promises things to girls. Bess is running her own shop, ladies and gents. After the earthquake crushed the department store she managed, she opened a woman-run shop in a basement and is giving working girls all over this city a leg up, including our Thule. She brings East Coast bravado to the Golden West.
Well, I rode out here with my brothers, and I was planning on staying just 3 months and making my way home. But then I fell in love with this.
San Francisco.
Okay.
Okay. If you're assigned to districts 3 or 4, get ready to go.
Did you know, folks, Miss Solomons is a famous playwright. The Girl from Colorado is a Votes for Women playlet with a purpose. Oh, we sent it to David Belasco. Selena's headed for Broadway.
Shh, stop, Bess. First of all, the note from his office just said he'd read it. And secondly, these good folks will think me a frivolous goof if you go on and on about my play.
How do I know goof, Miss Solomons? You are our hero.
Well, then let me stop talking and go into the field to do my work. Those of you assigned to District 3 and 4, you'll come with me. Bess will organize the rest of you and you will follow as called. Come on.
Don't go.
You're springing this on me at this minute? I mean, our plans for today have been set for months.
I am afraid for you, baby. I'll go out, you stay.
Hey, I'm not as infamous and recognizable as you give me credit for. Your risk is the same as mine.
You have a hot head and get into arguments.
I do not.
Miss Solomons, excuse me, but I'm sitting next to the girl who sold me gloves earlier this morning. Don't you think it would be prudent not to mix the classes in this way? We would all feel much more comfortable if you divided the lunchroom into sections. Some of these women look like they associate with drinkers and barbarians.
Some of these women are drinkers and barbarians, dear.
Yeah, and I'm proud to be one of them. You realize Miss Solomons is a Jew.
I understand that, and I've considered it, but my mother says the Solomons come from the north of Market Street, and that gives her a sense of propriety that is just absent of this lot.
Who's your mother, dear?
Eliza Armstrong.
Mrs. Armstrong, the Christian Temperance Suffrage League. Surprised to see you here, kid.
Yes, and what are you even doing here on election day? You should be out there helping your mother get votes.
You have a colored woman handing out leaflets.
That's Lydia Flood. She runs the Suffrage Amendment League of Oakland. The motto of the club is deeds, not words, which is why she was kind enough to lend Selena a hand while she's picking up leaflets for her own precinct.
I'm Lydia Flood. I continue my family's legacy. My father bought himself out of slavery and here in California has worked to the bone to become a wealthy man. My mother took it upon herself to establish one of California's first schools for Black children. I am an active club woman and the first legislative chair of the California Federation of Colored Women's Clubs. With faith, with strong morals, I have been determined all my life to work for civil rights and women's liberty. Who can break the phalanx of determined, noble-minded, upright women backed by the power of the Holy Spirit. Suffrage is one of the most important levers by which we hope to elevate our women to the highest planes of life. White women, no. There are suffragists who look like me that you may not know, and you may not hear about. Suffrage won't come easy for women of color, but we will prevail. It will be hard, but ours is a practice of loving inclusion at every turn. We offer each other hands up the rungs of freedom, lifting as we climb.
Okay. That lady might be all right. But you've got a Cherokee squaw in the kitchen. That is dangerous.
Joaquina is not a Cherokee squaw, you little corncob.
See? Hothead.
She is Ohlone, and she cooked that delicious soup you were gobbling up.
An Indian made this?
Yes, you simp. Eat the soup and then get out of here and help it make it safe for every woman to vote you and your mother and Lydia and Joaquina.
My mother says uncivilized women don't want to vote.
Uncivilized women? Jesus Christ.
My mother warned me that you were going to use the Lord's name in vain. She warned me about how your wildness is dangerous to the movement. She told me not to come near you.
Oh, Mrs. Armstrong doesn't know that you're here? Uh-oh. But you like it a little bit, don't you? The girls, the fervor, the food.
Just stop speaking to her, Bess. It's a waste of time. You're a waste of time. Just go sit down, you little Armstrong brat.
Baby, cool down. You'll get all steamed up. See, you could cause a riot out there. You know what your true talent is, baby? It's educating young women. One by one, in here, not out there getting into screaming fights. Teach the sorority gal about the Indians. Baby.
I do not have time.
Oh, you want to let her out there causing derision and division among women? Listen. I just met this woman, the anarchist, Emma Goldman. You know about her. She's not opposed to women's suffrage on the grounds that we're not equal to it, but she worries that suffrage could divert attention, from justice for the poor and risk increasing the number of conservative voters if people like Armstrong get the vote. Goldman says the entire democratic system is a lie. And I've been wondering, is this fight your fight, Selena? Dividing women?
Well, let's see. The temperance women hate the barbarian women. The universal suffrage women hate the women-only suffrage movement. The rich women hate the poor women. The Christian women don't want the Jewish women in their clubs. The German Jewish women look down on the Russian Jews. And us Sephardic Jews are called Arabs by the Russians. The Quaker women want rights for all, but don't approve of the Catholic women who pray to a more violent God. So yes, you're right, Bess. The suffrage movement is divided into factions. But in the words of Francis Harper, we are all bound up together in one great bundle of humanity. So today, I think we have to unite in the one thing we have in common, being women. And now you tell me that there's a woman who says the vote is not worth it because democracy is a lie?
Frankly, baby, what's more concerned to me is the lie of us, you, me.
Well, election day in the middle of the Votes for Women Club is not the time or place to have this discussion.
When is a better time to have it?
I cannot do this now.
Well, then do something else. Go on.
Fine. Young lady, who were the mothers of suffrage?
Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Susan B. Anthony.
Yes, and Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth. Mrs. Armstrong gets this part of history wrong every time. And where was the women's rights movement born?
Seneca Falls.
Seneca Falls, the territory of the Haudenosaunee. Our suffrage leaders were hugely inspired by the rights of the indigenous women.
Why are you talking about savages when people like my mother are working so hard to get the vote out for civilized women?
In 1848, the civilized women of suffrage discovered how much better the Indian women were treated by their men. The Native women inspired Stanton and Gage and Anthony to a pragmatic model of female liberty, and they took it, although few of our white sisters ever gave the Indians credit.
Hiawatha's great law of peace for the 6 nations of the Iroquois was the basis of our own Constitution. And the white brothers never gave Indians credit for that either.
Stanton and Gage and Anthony realized that the Haudenosaunee children were members of their mother's clan, whereas the white ladies' kids were the sole property of their husbands. Also, white men had the legal right to discipline their wives.
That means beat them.
In the Indian homes, violence against women just wasn't part of the culture.
My mother says sometimes wives need to be disciplined to maintain a lady's superior values.
Tell me the truth, young lady. Do you really want a man to hit you and boss you around?
No. But mother says Mrs. Stanton and Mrs. Gage and Mrs. Anthony are perfect examples of free women happily devoted to their traditions while fighting for suffrage.
Just think of their clothes, dear. Our suffrage leaders wore stockings guarded above the knee with elastic bands, a corset stiffened with whalebone pulled so tight it restricted breath, and over this a bustle made of coils, and then the silk gown with boned bodice and stiffened skirt. Their daily outfits weighed up to 30 pounds.
30 pounds?
Yeah. Instead, the Native women's clothing was sewn from cotton, built for health and freedom and comfort and independence.
And most importantly, Miss Armstrong, Indian women choose their chief. But in the civilized world, more than 6 decades after Seneca Falls, it is still illegal for women to vote.
Oh.
Oh, as in, oh, I don't care? Or oh, as in my eyes are open to a new thing?
I never thought about it like that. I didn't know all that stuff about Indians. This soup is really good. Really good.
It is.
Ooh, Miss Armstrong has gone quiet. You are good at this, baby. Stay here and guide the misguided.
I can guide the misguided out on the streets.
No, the general's never at the front lines. He's back in the headquarters, at the field tent, solving problems when his soldiers need him.
You know, your moon is in Taurus, which makes you believe that it is your personal duty to bring everyone to justice, your justice. But because of the polarities in me, especially my Capricorn in the 5th house, I make my own way.
I am protecting you, baby, and it has nothing to do with solar biology.
Well, your sun is in Aries, and that's the first sign of the intellectual trinity, which I have told you 100 times makes you stubborn.
Oh, my beloved's mumbo jumbo.
Yes, solar biology is my living. Many of these women here are my clients, you know this. And you've benefited yourself from my readings when a problem arises. So don't insult me with mumbo jumbo, not today. Oh, and here comes Thule, Scorpio Cancer incarnate. What is wrong, Thule?
Miss Selena, the voting fraud is rampant. Double ballots, false names, people claiming to be dead people or storybook characters, people voting 2 and 3 times. People buying and selling votes that Mrs. Wilson is paying boys to vote no. Tells them there won't be another glass of beer sold in this seat if you let the lasses get the vote. So what do we do?
You go back out there, Thule. Forget about calm and collected. You shout and you kick until that woman is exposed, until she is down.
Yes, Miss Selena, but she's got her booze bimbos all up and down Market Street buying voting men drinks. They're all blotto.
Then we'll take you up a different route. Get out your precinct map. Take part of District 3's route and move down to our meeting place along Mission instead of Market. You'll miss the bar rooms, but you'll still get plenty of voters. The plants break for lunch around now, and the men will be sitting outside eating.
Good strategy, General.
I don't know. Deep down, if I can do this, I owe the shoes on my feet to the women here who plucked me up and gave me a chance. But on the street, elbows out, voice loud, I'm just a tiny bit terrified. But don't tell Miss Selena. She thinks I'm brave.
Tuli, I know I can count on you.
You can count on me.
And if you see Wilson, you give her hell. Oh, and Tuli, you'll be meeting Bess at 5 o'clock. Not me. Same place.
Okay, Miss Selena. Miss Bess, 5 o'clock, secret place.
Thank you, baby.
Okay, can you raise your hands if you are in District 3 and 4? No, Hava, you are in District 2.
We are pious Jewish women. Miss Solomons, I am going home, and I am taking all the women from the Jewish Council with me. Come on, ladies.
No, Hava, you can't do that. We need you. We need all of you.
The rabbi says we must keep our charity active as our faith demands. You said that if I came here, it would help the ladies.
Well, it will, Hava.
I thought you meant the poor ladies at the settlement houses. At the chapter meeting, you talked about the clean milk program and teaching the Jewish orphans to sew. The rabbi warns we must assimilate so we won't run into the same troubles we had in the old country. We don't want to make problems in this new homeland.
You can't just stay silent, Hava. Fighting this fight for the women's vote is a mitzvah.
I heard your friend talk about the problems for the ladies of different colors. I feel bad for them, truly I do, but I have to take care about my own people and to make mitzvah on their behalf.
Well, voter suppression is rampant for us too. Recently, Jews in New York were unable to vote because the state officials insisted on holding elections on Yom Kippur.
All the same, Miss Solomons, this is San Francisco, not New York, and I should go home to make my husband's lunch.
Hava, just wait, okay? Our biggest enemy in San Francisco is the liquor lobby and the politicians they control, like Senator J.B. Sanford. Here is what he said about us. Suffrage is not a right, it is a privilege. Politics is no place for women. Women can do little good for the republic by neglecting her children and chasing the vote. Oh, he said this, women's suffrage is like pouring cologne water into the sewer. It will not purify the sewer, but it will utterly ruin the cologne.
That is disgusting.
Yes, it is. So please stay. Help us, Chava. Help us attain freedom for women, for Jewish women. If we don't achieve suffrage, men will continue to sanction us, body and soul.
Okay, Miss Solomons, I will stay for a little while.
Thank you.
Oh, that was Dilly, my girl. I applaud you.
Duck soup. Now off with you, Bess. Go shepherd the herds of precinct watchers. You've now got districts 1, 3, and 4. Let's give a round of applause to Bess Fisk, folks. Bess would do anything for women.
Oh, Beth would not do anything for women, but Beth would do anything for Selena Solomons. I love her. I can't say it out loud, but it's loud in my mind and I dream of it. Stopping her as we walk politely down the road. And at twilight, I push myself up against her up against a lamppost, press myself against her, smell her fragrance, orange and lavender, and then right out in the open, I gently bite her lower lip until she hums, kissing her. Under the glow of the moon in the busy bustle of the city evening. Hey, men and women do this dance every minute of every night on earth. Why can't we?
Bess,
I'm off. Good fortune, good humor, good luck.
Good luck, Bess. Okay, everyone. Finish your soup. We're going to be moving out soon. Mrs.
Selena
Armstrong.
Solomons. Daisy.
Mrs. Armstrong.
Mother?
Daisy, up with you. What are you doing in here associating with these people?
Can I finish my soup?
No, you cannot finish your soup. We have to remove ourselves from putridity in order to preserve purity. Selena Solomons, you are bringing us down. This fight is about the long and deeply held values with which we must infuse our American life. We must wave the red, white, and blue high, and under the flag, and that flag only, must we make our careful cry for women. And the cadence of our cry must have beauty and gentility. And with our morals and virtues held as high as our banners, we will march into the right kind of victory. Daisy, I hope these savages and coloreds and heathens have not sullied you. Put down that diseased spoon and get up.
Oh, Mrs. Armstrong, I cannot believe you risked your life to pull your daughter out of my infected hellhole. I heard you swear you would never enter my lunchroom. I heard you call it a Jew room thick with foreign smells, a trip to Jupiter in a pot of chicken fat. This place is dangerous for you, filled with shop girls without civilized shoes, poor dumb girls reading dog-eared leaflets. Oh, you roll your eyes to the ceiling. You cover your nose with your glove. You're the one who is sullying the movement with arrogance and prejudice. You will cause us to fail in our higher purpose, which is to win the vote for all women. You're nearly worse than the men themselves.
Daisy, up now, come.
Mother, your yelling is tyranny. I'm a grown woman. I will make my own decisions. I am going to the polls with the Votes for Women's Club. Which district do you need me in, Miss Solomons?
Catch up with Bess, Miss Armstrong. She'll direct you.
Bye, Mother. Bye, Mrs. Solomons. Thanks for the soup.
What have you done, Solomons?
Fine girl you raised. Just needed her eyes nudged open. Remember, Mrs. Armstrong, as far as today goes, you and I are on the same side.
As far as today goes.
Racism has persisted even in the most socially progressive movements. The National American Women's Suffrage Association was the dominant white suffrage association and held conventions that excluded Black women. Black women were forced to march separately in suffrage parades. The history of women's suffrage volumes overlooked the contributions of Black suffragists. We are divided sisters. Our white allies need to wake up, stand with us, for us. We need to hold them accountable. And through the act of voting, we will finally gain true freedom for all women. But first, we need the vote.
Selena Solomons.
Mrs. Wilson, what are you doing here?
I am here to warn you. I just saw your little Irish in the street, propositioning voting men like a whore, getting the exact opposite response I think you were looking for, Solomons. And when they slapped her down, she screeched, "Oh, I am a foot soldier in the war for equal rights. No one would want something like that to vote." I told her, "Honey, you are nothing in this world. Girls like you, they tell you you are the foot soldiers, but you are only fodder for a battle you can never win. And guess what your little soldier did then? She spat at me. Is that what you've raised, Selena? A wild hysteric doing your bidding with dirty fists and spittle? You are hurting your own cause. You know better than those straight-laced, tight-ass temperance bitches like your friend Eliza Armstrong.
I'm not for temperance. We drink wine on Shabbos, though I would never buy wine from you. There are more saloons and liquor stores in San Francisco than anywhere west of the Mississippi. Greed never was a noble cause.
Your own daddy was a regular in my saloons. Quite a drinker was that Sheeny Solomons. We never knew you Jews could put away liquor with such ferocity.
My father became addicted to alcohol. My parents' marriage was ruined by your saloons. What a civic service you and your family provide.
You will lose this fight today. I promise you that. Our anti-suffrage placards are up all over town, bigger and higher than yours. Vote no, as home-loving women do not want the ballot. We are destroying you.
I'll smack you from here to Oregon, Melanie Wilson.
You won't hit me. You wouldn't dare hit a woman. Bye, little Miss Solomons. I'm so sorry for your loss.
She's right. I wouldn't hit her. I wouldn't hit a woman. I'm for women. Bess is also right. I do have a temper. We must not fight amongst ourselves. We have to turn our attention to the men. Last week, 40 of us went to the legislature to plead the case for women's suffrage. We told them, we may be small in number, but we represent 50,000 Californian women. The chairman sneered at us and said, "You're no more than 50,000 mice."
Oh, stand up, ladies. Are we mice or are we women? Come on. Are we gonna let the liquor lobby lady win?
Thank you, Hava.
I must tend to my own flock, Selena. You seem to be doing fine with yours.
Oh, Lydia, thank you. Good luck in Oakland tonight, and thank you so, so much for all your help. All right, look at your precinct maps, friends. Plan your routes, then go out and get your men, any men, to vote with us today. For the respect of justice, for the love of their mothers, and for the sake of California, this is the most important election of our lives.
Selena, you are here.
Sorry, folks. That was my brother, Theo, the fellow who ran in and ran out again shouting. He's a little strange, always has been. Here he comes again. Sorry, everyone.
Oh,
Theo, oh my God, what happened?
the kid was struck down in the street. She mumbled Miss Solomon's foot soldier before she passed out. I wasn't sure if you were at the polls, but I brought her here just in case.
Was she breathing? Oh my God, poor lamb, lay her down.
She was whacked by a swift umbrella handle to the temple wielded by a furious woman in a fur coat. I saw the whole thing.
Mrs. Wilson. Oh, Thule.
What happened? What's going on? My head hurts. And Miss Selena, my head hurts. Am I dying? Am I gonna die?
Oh, dear one, calm down. Deep breaths. She's gone to sleep. Do you think it's okay to let her sleep?
Yes, let her sleep. She'll be all right.
Oh, Theo, this girl emigrated from Ireland, all on her own. Can you imagine the journey? Across the seas to New York, and trudging the wide country by horse and train. Thule's family died of hunger. When Thule cleared their things out at the landlord's demand, she found an envelope scrawled in her mother's hand It said only San Francisco, and inside there was just enough for passage. What was her mother thinking? Saving funds for a voyage while they were eating nothing but thinned out cabbage broth? Julie was fully alone in the world, but she followed her mother's wishes, came to San Francisco, and found a job packing boxes in a storeroom. But she's making her way to the front of the shop, thanks to Bess. God, what a monster that Wilson is. To assault her?
People are nuts out there today, sister. The city is a mess. People are parceling violence like Christmas packages. Here's an elbow, here's a boot, a knee, a shove, a murderous glare. The liquor brigade slosh whiskey back and shake drunken fists at the Christ-loving Temperance League, who wave their purity like the American flag, and your suffrage women in white yelling at everyone with voices pitched loud and high. And you put this youngster on the front lines?
Why are you even in the city, Theo, if you hate it so much? Why did you come?
For you, silly girl, to cast my vote.
Oh. This is my wonderful brother, ladies and gents. He left home for the high Sierra, where he climbs, surveys, measures trees, carves trails into soil. He will be remembered most for naming mountains. He doesn't realize that this city is wonderful if you know how to listen to her.
How do you hear anything with so much clamor?
Line your mind to the frequency of the streets, and the suffering throngs will be as meaningful to you as the sharp needles of a majestic redwood.
You have not spent enough time with the trees.
I'm not meant for trees, I'm meant for people. You were always obsessed with dirt. Can't remember exactly when it started.
Oh, do you remember that summer when I worked on Uncle's farm in Fresno herding cattle? I worked for 3 straight months in that massive unfenced alfalfa field.
Yes, I was against that. I thought you'd get gored by a bull. You were not even 14.
I loved it. I had to lead the cattle in single file on that tiny path on the edge of the property so the Jewish cows wouldn't set foot on the neighboring land and get shot by the anti-Semitic farmer. And that's how I got the idea of a crest parallel trail. I drew the plans that summer when I was not even 14. I want the trails to help Americans understand their relationship with the natural world. We need to wake up the modern environmental consciousness and save the American soul from total surrender to materialism. The Indians would never steal gold from the skin of the mother. They ask before taking and honor the soul of every kill. It is a holy circle. I'm about to climb a new set of peaks higher than I've ever traversed. Peace blazes from the hillsides. Any human you meet on the trail is humbled by nature, ambitions subdued by earth and sky. I follow a herd of elk up the steepest ravine into the backlands for hours with only birdsong in my ears and the gurgle of rivers and streams. Never the sharp, craggy rage of a fuming mob. Never a young woman pummeled in the head. I bought land, Selena, 20 acres of it. You should come and stay. It juts out over the Merced River Canyon.
Oh, good Lord, I don't have time for canyons. It's election day. Don't you understand what a big day this is? I've got real people to attend to, mountain goat.
Don't call me a mountain goat. I am a grown man, Selena.
District 2, please go. Hava, you're in District 2. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, Hava. Good luck.
I'm not an intellectual or a high earner. Papa always seemed ashamed to speak my name. But I thought you were different. I thought you understood me.
I do understand you. I'm your biggest fan. Look, I was never accepted by Papa either. I was not his cup of tea. And your yearnings were always beyond his drunken understanding. You know, when he walked out on us, we were broken financially, but I think that Mama, raising us on her own, teaching school to support us, I think that made you and me what we are today.
Both bound by tradition with one foot, but with our other foot, we are free. And with my free foot, I am upward over the mountains. Cathedral Peak, Mount Dana, Mount Goddard, Evolution Basin, the John Muir Trail. The Torah teaches us retribution, Selena. But we are just animals, subject to the spirit of the land. Lying out at night under those giant sequoias is like lying in a temple grander than any human architect could build. That's where I find God.
Well, you never found God in Torah. The rabbi scolded you more than any other little boy. What kind of a Jew are you?
What kind indeed. And you, with your theosophy and solar biology.
We are rule breakers, little brother.
We are misfits and adventurers. You have your votes for women club. I have my mountains. You are unmarried. I married a Unitarian. I'm a traitor to our heritage. You are alone.
I'm not alone.
You have a suitor?
I have a lover.
God help us, my heathen sister. Who is he?
My best friend.
I thought your best friend was that anarchist girl.
Bess.
Right.
Yes.
So why haven't I met him?
Theo,
Why?
pay attention to what I have just told you.
Oh. Oh my God. Selena, are you telling me that you're
Yes.
a...
Yes.
Jesus.
You're shocked.
That is definitely breaking the rules.
Yes.
Does the family know?
Mama did. But now that she's gone, only you.
You are already outside of social normality. Won't this set you apart irretrievably? Put you even more at risk? And stop you from doing this important work?
Well, it's fairly secret.
Are you ashamed of it?
No, I am not. But I'll never live freely because of you and people like you.
You don't know everything about me.
No, you're right. I don't know very much at all.
I am not Papa.
You judge me all the same, no matter how liberal you are in your views of conservation. When it comes to your sister, you want me to be normal and fit into an idea that makes you comfortable.
Are you in love with her?
And you can scale mountains and build trails, but you want women to be as pure and feminine as the princesses in our old fairy tale books.
You didn't answer my question.
The secret answer? Yes, I love her. But the public answer?
The private answer is the only one I need to know.
Bess wants me to be affectionate with her in public. She wants me to live with her as her wife.
If you are happy together, be happy. Just be careful.
Have you voted yet?
No, I should go now before the polls close. Take care of this little Irish wild one. And take care of yourself, sister. I hope you win today.
Goodbye, brother.
Miss Selena, who was that man?
That was my little brother, Thule. Do you want some water?
I think I'll just close my eyes for a...
Thule?
Selena.
Oh, Bess, I'm so glad you're back. Look what happened to Thule. You look terrible. What's wrong? Did someone else get hurt?
Baby, sit down.
Is it bad news? Why do people always tell you to sit down when there's bad news?
So you don't fall.
I won't fall.
Baby, we are losing.
No, we're not. We're not losing. Theo said the streets are thronged with women.
No, the numbers are in. San Francisco liquor lobby was too strong for us. They shut us out in precinct after precinct. Men voted to save their liquor and secure the silence of obedient wives. And Wilson led a brutal brigade parading up and down and pouring tankards of fear into young men and glasses of fury into the old. I'm sorry, my love. We have lost the city.
And the state?
Well, they presume the state, and poor Thule punched in the head. All for nothing.
How can an unjust system be so acceptable to so many? How can people not see women suffering? How did we get here to this selfish place? How can this great country be so blind? Oh, God.
Pause. We sit on land that is blood-soaked and stolen. We are punished with sanctions and chauvinism, just as we were punished with earthquake and fire. Retribution for this beloved America that was built on the genocide of one race and the enslavement of another.
If I've lost the vote, then all is lost.
Not all.
All.
There is still us.
What is us compared to this? I want to go home. I want to find my brother.
No. We discover who we are in the hardest of times. Who will you be, Selena?
I will be my work, Bess. I will be the fight for justice.
No, if you put everything into your work and your entire heart into social outcomes and political change, you will wake up one day and be all alone.
You go away, Bess.
Oh, if you can't find the willingness to show your true self, to be with me fully, I will go. I can't stay. Not anymore. Bye. Bye, Selena.
Miss Bess, where did she go? Miss Solomons, what happened? I fell asleep. How could I fall asleep on election day?
You got knocked on the head. You passed out.
I need to get back out there.
Lay down, Thule. It's too late. We lost.
Oh no, we can't lose. We can't. So many of us out there fighting and fighting. If I hadn't gotten sleepy, I could have kept on and led us to victory. I can go back out to count votes.
No. No one can change the fate of suffrage in this damn city. Big greed will win out over big heart. Now I fear I've lost Bess. We should clear the soup bowls, Thule. All we need now is mice.
Oh, you should have some soup. I bet you haven't eaten all day, Miss Selena.
Soup is... Go back to sleep, Thule. Soup is ridiculous. My whole life is ridiculous. My ridiculous play, my ridiculous dreams, my ridiculous country, my city, my state.
California organizes itself around the erasure of my people. The murder state sanctions the genocide. Those of us left alive are invisible. We are not people and therefore not citizens. The Department of U.S. Interior, 1910. Candidates for land titles and citizenships are to dress in traditional Indian costume. The Indian is given a bow and arrow. After ordering him to shoot his arrow into the distance, the presiding officer will announce, "Insert white name. You have shot your last arrow." The arrowless archer then returns to his teepee and reemerges in civilized dress. He's placed before a plow. "Take the handle of this plow." He takes it. This act means you have chosen to live the life of a white man, and the white man lives by work. Now, Indian woman. Insert white name, take in your hand this work bag and purse. She takes work bag and purse. This means that you have chosen the life of a white woman, and the white woman loves her home. Then the official says, I give into your hands the flag of your country. This is the only flag ever will have. It is the flag of freedom. That flag has a request to make of you, insert white name, that you take it in your hands and repeat these words. For as much as the president has said that I am worthy to be a citizen of the United States. The audience rises and shout, insert white name is an American citizen.
Listen. Listen to the ancestors. Escucha. Escucha. Listen to the wind. You have no air in you. You are water. You are earth. You are fire. Agua. Tierra. Fuego. Quiet your breath completely. Listen to the air.
From the side of the room, I hear Joaquina watching me. She is listening for my listening. Is she breathing in this voice?
Quiet all thought. ¿Qué escuchas? What do you hear?
I hear my mother.
No, further back, beyond known time, antes de la propia nada. Keep going. What can you smell?
Ancient dust. Is Joaquina breathing her tradition into me?
Daughter.
Who are you?
I'm your mother's mother's mama from a golden age in history, way down the line of women, mucho antes. You will never have a daughter of your own. Since you cannot lean forward in blood, rest back. Breathe my breath. You have failed. Your cause crushed. You are stewing in self-pity. Let it go. Déjalo, déjalo, déjalo ir. You were damned by the man who calls you mouse. Are you mouse? You huddle up on the floor of yourself. Get up, daughter. Levántate, levántate ya, hija. We fought off the soldiers of the Inquisition with our bare hands. We wiped the blood off the children and hid them under the floorboards until the hoofbeats passed. We crawled on hands and knees, hungry to the edges of our hideaways to wrestle fruit and acorns like squirrels. Our homeland, now a death sentence, la sentencia de muerte. Some of us surrendered our bodies, some our religion, others jumped headfirst off cliffs. Some killed their own children rather than have them relinquish Judaism. Some killed themselves and their elders with kitchen knives. Some tried to kill the oppressors. Some screamed. Some went silent. Silencio. And some made it to Portugal or Palestine, and centuries later to the New World. The question is always the same. What do you do in the face of sudden darkness? Lay down or stand up? I was decapitated by Queen Isabella's men. And as the sword came down, they shouted, "Die, Jew!" But I wasn't scared. I knew deep in my skin that I would never stop fighting, that I would fight the enemies of justice hard so my children could live. You are more like me than anyone in our lineage. That's why I'm here. But you don't know your strength. No tienes idea de tu fuerza. You were taught fear and passivity by the culture around you. Wipe your tears. Get up, daughter. Rally. There will be another vote. There will be another day. Find your allies. Pull on your boots. Saddle your horses. Think of the women who came before you. Think of the ones who will come after you. Levántate. Levántate. Rise. Rise. Rise, rise.
Rise, 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 rise. And we rise for all the women who came before. Emmeline Pankhurst, Mary Wollstonecraft, Jane Addams, Matilda Jocelyn Gage, Amelia Bloomer, Carrie Chapman Catt, Lucretia Mott, Alice Paul, Lucy Stone, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Susan B. Anthony.
Rise for Nanny Helen Burroughs, Charlotte Van Deen Fortin, Naomi Anderson Black, Mamie Dillard, Angelina Weld Grimke, Sarah Redmond, Frances Ellen Watkins Harper, Coralie Franklin Cook, Janie Porter Barrett, Anna J. Cooper, Nanny Helen Burroughs, Victoria Earl Matthews, Verena Morton Jones, Gertrude Bustle Mazel, Josephine St. Peter Ruffin, Carrie Langston, Mary Talbot, Ida B. Wells, Sojourner Truth, Mary Church Terrell, Harriet Tubman.
Rise for Louise Abeda E. Ashur, Bluecorn Tani, Walking Spirit, Hickoria Apache, Teata Fisher, Chickasaw Nation, Glory of the Morning, Ho Chunk Chief, Juanita Growing Thunder Fogarty, Assiniboine Sioux, Hanging Cloud, Ojibwa, Charlotte Hallmark, Chief of the Echota Cherokee, Susan Shawn Harjo, Muskogee Creek, Cheyenne, Minnie Hollowwood, Lakota, fought at Little Bighorn, Wilma Mankiller, Chief of the Cherokee Nation, Mountain Wolf Woman, Ho Chunk, Old Lady Grieves the Enemy, Pawnee, One Who Walks with the Stars, Oglala Lakota, Pocahontas, Powhatan, Martha Redbone, Choctaw Shawnee, Red Wing Winnebago, Maria Tall Chief, Osage, Mary Tall Mountain, Koyukan, Kateri, Tekawitha, Mohawk Algonquin, Toi Purina, Tongva, Zitkalasa, Yankton, Nakota.
And the men say, turn those women down hard. Sorry for your loss, dears, but we commend your spunk. Let's give a vote of thanks to the ladies. And we say, in the name of the women of California, we wish to decline your vote of thanks. We want the vote itself. And the men say, what can women do with the vote? And we say Nanny Helen Burroughs, a suffrage leader and a former slave, when asked what women could do with the ballot, responded, what can they do without it? And the men say, women are denied the vote. And I say, Thule, bring me a paper and pen. We must plan the next election so we don't make the same mistakes we made today. Next time we'll be more prepared. And I should look at the star charts and see what information we have about the skies.
Selena, slow down.
We have less than a year. Thule, any ideas are welcome.
Start serving beer in the lunchroom. Bring some of those daft young fellas in, convince them we won't rob them of drink if we get the vote.
Good, more thoughts.
Oh, well, we take boxing classes so we can take on Mrs. Wilson and her goons with might. beat him to the ground.
Yes, Tuli, that's right. Go out into the street. Come on, find as many women as you can. The precinct watchers, bring even Eliza Armstrong in here. Bring them all back. We'll plot out the pathway to the next election. Oh my God, look here. Both the moon and Saturn are in Taurus today. I've been too bullheaded. I should not have sent you out to yell, Tuli. And with the Mars in Gemini? No, what's that noise?
Oh, look out that window, Miss Selena, look. It's the women. Oh, look at them cheering.
Selena, baby, such great news. You won.
We won!
Bess! Oh, Bess!
The numbers are coming in from the north and the south and the east of Riverside and Sonoma and Humboldt counties. We won Ukiah. We won Santa Cruz. We lost San Francisco by a landslide. California is ours.
Come on in, everyone. Gather round, we've won.
Everyone is pouring into the Votes for Women Club. Oh, look at them all.
She does something that surprises everyone, even her.
You're right, Bess. A girl needs love in her life, even an old girl like me.
And she kisses me right in the middle of the lunchroom, in front of Mrs. Armstrong and Tuli and all of the suffragettes, and we are under the lamppost in the town square, her and me and the moon.
And you, Tuli, you are the bravest girl I know. You will make a great citizen. America is lucky to have you.
Miss Selena, this is the best day.
It truly is the bestest day. And we give free rein to our emotions in both manly and womanly fashion, with hand slapping and hand shaking and back slapping, as well as hugging and kissing. California women have won the vote 63 years after Seneca Falls.
On October 10th, 1911, women lost the vote in San Francisco. But very late that night, when all the votes were counted from the southern and rural counties, California became the 6th state in which it was legal for women to vote.
After the 1911 election, Selena turned the Votes for Women lunchroom into a shelter for homeless women.
And it continues. 1920?
In 1920, women won the vote nationally when the United States government ratified the 19th Amendment. Then it was up to each state to ratify it with the state government.
1924.
In 1924, the Indian Citizenship Act was passed and Native American women were granted the legal right to vote. But we were not eligible to vote in every state until 1962, when Utah became the last state to remove formal barriers. But roadblocks remain. State laws and voter suppression have made it impossible for all Native Americans to participate fully in the democratic process. Restrictive voting laws for Native communities include people on reservations without traditional street addresses have resulted in voter registration applications being rejected. States with voter ID laws often do not accept tribal IDs as a valid form of identification. Polling sites are often over 150 miles from the reservation. Native votes matter.
1943.
In 1943, under the Magnuson Act, Chinese immigrants were given the right to citizenship and Chinese women could vote.
1965.
Although some African American women were able to register and vote after the 19th Amendment, relentless voter suppression and white supremacy made voting for Black women unattainable until the Voting Rights Act of 1965. 3 million women south of the Mason-Dixon line remained disenfranchised after the passage of the 19th Amendment. African American women faced many barriers. These included having to wait in line for up to 12 hours to register to vote. Tests were required. So African American women had to prove that they could read and interpret the Constitution before being deemed eligible to vote. Bodily harm and fabricated charges designed to land women in jail if they attempted to vote. Election officials increased methods of fraud, intimidation, poll taxes, threats of violence, and job losses. Legalized prejudicial practices blocked women of color from voting until 1962 with the 24th Amendment. Now, the 24th prohibited Congress and the states from making voting conditional on poll and other taxes, and it paved the way for the Voting Rights Act of 1965. But voter suppression in Black communities continues into the 21st century. Black votes matter. Black lives matter.
1975.
The 1975 amendment to the Voting Rights Act expanded voting rights for minority groups that had fallen outside the Act's protections. Hispanic voters in areas where English was not the dominant language led the effort to amend voting rights to protect language minorities.
1984.
In 1984, Mississippi became the last state to officially ratify the 19th Amendment.
2020.
Barring voter suppression, every woman in this country of voting age will vote on November 3rd. All of you.
If Selena was alive today, she would be sad, but she would also be hopeful, because whenever there is an election, there is hope. This one coming up is the most important election of our lives. Vote.
Our country now from thee claim we our liberty in freedom's name. Guarding home's altar fires, daughters of patriot sires, their zeal our own inspires, justice to claim.